I like to call car insurance companies, Geico, State Farm, whatever one you can think of. And the game is you see how long you can keep them on the phone before they realize you're trying to insure the Batmobile, okay? It's a really fun game. You can keep them on for a very long time. The secret is you got to use old Adam West Batmobile, right? You can't use the modern one because you got to give them specifics about the car, and you can find the old specs online. So when they go, what kind of car is it? You can go, it's a 1955 Lincoln, and they're like, all right, convertible, no problem. First problem you run into is when they go, what color is it? Because you got to go, technically it's called Velvet Bat Fuzz. And they're like, what? And then you go, black. You know what? We'll go with black for the purposes of this. Biggest insurance discount you get is if your car has safety features. So when they go, does it have any safety features? You get to go, does it have any safety features? It has shields and missiles. How's that for safety features? That beats the shit out of an airbag, right?
A couple of weeks ago, the Senate was talking about adding women to the draft. That's true, yeah. How adorable is it that the Senate still thinks the draft would work? The draft in 2021? That's like if your parents try to ground you when you're in your 30s, you're like, no. Nah. No. The draft, like we're all these sleeper cell agents just waiting to be activated. Think about who they're attracting too. It's like 18 to 25-year-olds. Their parents would be like, boy, you're gonna defend our country, and they'd be watching a TikTok about the war. They'd be like, actually, Dad, war is problematic. There's other ways to handle our differences. Invading China's racist. It doesn't work for them either. Like, they don't want me in the war. I want to be good at the war. I'll switch sides. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'll be on the front lines like, hey, what's your guys' snack situation like? You guys get screen time? They treat you well? They don't treat me so good over here. I don't even want to be here. You make me do push-ups and march. Take away my weed.
I was a lifeguard. I had one death the whole time. 3 months, one death. That's pretty good. It was a heart attack. It wasn't our fault, you know. Guy died of a heart attack at the top of a water slide. And that is not funny. That's not funny, even a little bit. The discussion on how to get him down appropriately. No, put yourself there. That's a lot of steps. There were two teams, the moralists and then people that kind of needed to get home. It was like a 5 in the afternoon death. What are we doing here, guys? Are we going to be here all night, or maybe one of us just does a little... But, you know, we decided you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that. It was a double slide. He was a single rider. Rules, all rules.
Women are smarter than men, we know that, right? Here's the, I think you know women are smarter than men by how often they return stuff. Right? So women are like, oh, I'll just get my money back, right? And men are like, oh, this is my new bad shirt. My new mulching shirt, I'll die in this shirt.
A man cave has to be a concept that a woman came up with, I think, right? Probably, and she's probably really proud of herself for it. She should be, you know? She's probably on the phone with her friends like, Diane, you're not gonna believe it. I got Dave to keep all this dumb shit in one room. And I just do whatever I want with the rest of the house. Because the whole rest of the house is the woman cave. That's... The man cave is just the place the wife keeps everything in the house she doesn't like. Including the husband.
Do you guys know apples are almost made illegal at the start of this country? Yeah, because their primary purpose was to turn into booze. Yeah, right? Puts a huge twist on Johnny Appleseed. That is not the man we thought he was. Johnny was more of like a wandering booze nomad. Like he'd just come up to a town and just be like, "You guys ever fucking heard of apples before? Any of you motherfuckers had this good apple juice I've been drinking? Are we cool here? What's going on? No? Okay, we'll gather around. gather around, team. Do you guys mind if I call you team? Okay, you see that field right there? That's a fucking apple field now, okay? I've been under there all morning and night, and there's an apple field. And what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna let the apples grow. Please let the apples grow, okay?
I went over to the security and I go, "Hey, will you come kick me out in like 20 minutes? Right? And the security guy goes, "Why?" I go, "Well, because it's 2 a.m. I'm tired, I'm drunk, I want to go home, but my friends won't let me. And they keep calling me a bitch for trying to leave." So the best part, he goes, "All right," and he comes over 20 minutes later and he gets in my face, he goes, "Hey man, you gotta go." And I was like, "Why? What did I do?" And he goes, "You know what you did." And I was like, "All right, I guess I gotta go." And I left. My friends were all texting me like, "What happened?" I was like, "I don't know, that guy was just a dick. I don't know what happened."
I was a waiter too. I waited at a fancy restaurant, and people always ask, like, "What's your favorite thing on the menu?" And then I'd be like, "I cannot afford to eat it." But if you really want to know what I eat, I buy a side of veggies, and then I try to trade a little bit of weed to the chef for whatever meat's about to go bad. Do you want that? I can see what he's got. My line at the end of the meal is I'd say, "Would you like any coffee or dessert?" Right? And one time this lady said, "Yeah, I'll have an affogato." Do you guys know what that is, affogato? No? Some? Yes? I don't either, so don't feel weird, because what I said back to her was, "You want an avocado?" And she said, "Yes." And I was like, I don't think she does, so I'm going to say this out loud again. I was like, "You want me to bring you an avocado?" And she just gave me the hand wet gesture, you know, just the wave of like, "I'm done talking to the help, you can go now" wave. I was like, all right, here we go. And it's like, have you ever been at work? It doesn't matter what your job is. You're just at work and you know that you're doing your job wrong. Like, that was me in the kitchen cutting an avocado. And I looked at the waiter next to me. I was like, "Has someone ever ordered an avocado for dessert?" And he was just like, "Yeah, man, this shop's fucking dumb." And he walked away. I was like, all right, here we go. I'm out of ideas. And I remember walking out there just so defeated. I was like, this can't happen. And finally I just presented it to her, and she was like, "No, wrong." And I was like, I know, but you know, gave it a shot. But so she explained to me the affogato. If you don't know, it's espresso and ice cream. Super good. I got to have one that night. My manager made me try one. And then I also got to eat an avocado. Pretty big night. Pretty big night. Thank you. Thank you.
People get a little weird when I say I'm not going to have kids. I'm going to adopt. Adoption is the way to go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why get a new kid when you can get a used kid? You see some of your faces, some of y'all not on board with that. My bad, I meant certified pre-owned kid. Good old refurbished child. Takes what else time to pay off? You get a new kid, that's 18 years of payments. You get a millennial, it's 25. Why not just skip the first 4 years? You can save 40 grand by switching to orphan. Yeah, some of y'all still not on board with me adopting a child.
When I was in high school, this little Russian kid, he picked a fight with this big guy on the football team. And the Russian kid started the fight. And the big guy on the football team punched him in the face. And the Russian kid's glass eye fell out of his face and broke on the floor of our high school. And he just didn't have an eye for the rest of high school. Yeah. And that's like you know, like people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Like people with a limited supply of glass eyes probably shouldn't call Terry the N-word.
I majored in philosophy, which is stupid, objectively, everyone agrees. My favorite class in my philosophy major was a class called Philosophy of Time Travel, where we just watched movies and asked hypothetical questions. Questions like, can I go back in time and get my $40,000 back? Like that would have been really nice. I could use it now. I wrote my final paper on the question, should you go back, if you had a time machine, should you go back in time and kill baby Hitler? It's weird that people talk about that question so much. Everyone's like, would you kill baby Hitler? And no one's ever like, if you had a time machine, would you go back and stop the Archduke Franz Ferdinand from being assassinated, prevent both world wars? It does sort of feel like everybody secretly wants to kill a baby, and they're like, wait, what's the worst baby? Can we have that baby? What's that? Would you do it? If you had a time machine, would you kill baby Hitler? Yeah? How would you do it? Oh, what do you say? A gun. You do a gun. Yeah, classic. When somebody says do a gun, you assume that man knows firearm safety. Clearly. What I actually wrote my paper about, though, was not the act or the repercussions for the world, but what I was writing about was like how it would affect you. So here's my theory. Like, you would go back, you'd kill baby Hitler, you'd like do a gun, and then you'd get back in your time machine, you'd come back to 2019, you'd go home, you'd take a shower, because it's been kind of a weird day. And then you'd come to a comedy show because you bought tickets. And then I would be up here, I would look the same, everyone else would look the same, and then I would be asking a question at this part of the story, like, if you had a time machine, should you go back and kill baby Stalin? Because Hitler was not the only historical monster, your job's not done. You grab your gun, you jump back in the time machine, you go back and you do Mussolini with the gun, and then you come back, and then take a shower, and you go to a comedy show, and then like, would you kill, or Stalin, and then you're like, now would you kill baby Mussolini? And you're like, oh shit. Man, this is a long day. And then you go back, and you come back. And some people are pulling back on me, but don't forget, these are shitty babies. These are the worst babies. And if the baby part is bothering you, just picture you're going back and killing like awkward teenage Hitler. That would be even easier. Everybody would do that. That's fine, right? You just show up and his mom is like, Hitler, clean your room. And he's like, no one understands my struggle. Anyway, so, oh, by the way, your whole job right now is become full-time, right? You're just like, getting in a time machine, killing a baby, going to a comedy show, getting in a time machine, killing a baby. It's exhausting. It's not a great life. It would be a cool movie, Time Assassin Infant Edition, but you get down to the minor genocides, and eventually you'd be standing over a baby, and you're gonna be like, you killed 1,022 people, and then you'd be like, wait a second, this baby looks familiar. Do you see where this is going, philosophy majors? The camera pulls back, and you're like, wait, this is my 1,022nd baby, and this is my room. That's me as a baby. You've become the monster you were afraid of all along. And you know what that sounds like? C- paper. That's what it sounds like. Not a great paper.
Can you think of a goofier reason to traumatize children than the French horn? I can't. Have you seen the French horn? It's a preposterous instrument, all right? It's like a giant croissant, and to play it, it's a giant croissant, and to play it, you have to kiss it, cradle it, and fist it, like a petite yet insatiable lover. You know? A petite yet insatiable. Bro, when I wrote it, I said it to myself. I was in my room like the petite yet insatiable. I am Hemingway, but quiet.
Even after he was arrested for being a predator, we all kept referring to Jared from Subway as Jared from Subway. What did that man have to do to shake off a brand? Like, I'm sure Jared's not the first pedophile to eat sandwiches, but he is the first pedophile to eat so many sandwiches, that stayed his main thing. He's Jared from Subway, who like also turned out to be a pedophile if you Google it. Wait, what? You've got to throw down a lot of fresh fit meals to drop pedophile to number 2. If I say O.J. Simpson, nobody thinks, ah, yes, pride of the Buffalo Bills. Oh, wait, O.J.? Wait a minute, I know that name. That's the son of a bitch who murdered my Chiefs in the playoffs. You know, I'll always hate him for that.
Has anyone else also stumbled across like a weird fetish online before?
Ballooners.
What's that?
They're into balloons.
Oh, yes, of course. Like rubbing it on, like this, the feeling of that.
No, they sit on them. They offer you a lot of money just to blow them up in front of them.
I hate blowing up balloons. It scares the shit out of me. Doesn't that not fucking terrify people when you're blowing it up and it's getting big and you see it thinning and you're like, that's lost its colour. That's gonna fucking go right in my face. Imagine that, but like it explodes and then so do you. Do you know anyone who has it, or did you see it on the internet?
No, I'm a clown for a living and I get lots of offers every week.
Oh, do you get asked to do it?
Yes, I do.
So, have you ever done it for cash?
No, but I pass it on to a friend of mine who does do it.
Oh! Do you get like a referral kickback?
Do I get a bit of kickback? Yes, I do.
Oh, you do? Oh, yes. That is awesome.
Next to my daughter, so sorry.
You're sitting next to your daughter. She just found out her mum's a clown pimp. Did she know that?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, that's awesome. Fuck, were you a bit worried then when I asked, have you done it? You just like looked at your mum, don't. Even if you did, shut the fuck up. Or I'll be on fucking TikTok.
He told me a website called vagina.com. Now I would hear that and I'd be like, that's a very weird name for a website. But back then I was just like, that's what I want to see. I guess that's how it works. Very accurate. I'll probably go to boobs.com after that, you know? Turns out it wasn't a real website. He was lying. It was a fake website. But it took me to a very real website, you know? Google was like, don't you mean? And I did mean. I didn't even know how much I did mean. They knew more than I thought I meant. I didn't know I meant this, but I fucking mean this, yeah.
The terrible sex ed. And I know no one had a good time in sex ed. No one was ever like, oh, it was so much fun. Coach Reagan told me where to find my clip. It's always bad, for sure. But the brand of bad that I had in sex ed was that my teacher had never had sex or seen it or heard about it, as far as I can tell. That's what happened. She just walked in and started making shit up. She was playing jazz from day one. So they told us in the beginning of sex ed that you could get HIV from kissing. That is how we started. And even then, she said it in like the craziest way. She was like, but only if you swallow a gallon of the other person's saliva. So not only was this woman confused about how viruses work, I suspect she kisses weird. A gallon? You are very sick. Or a St. Bernard or something. That's a lot of saliva. And then she had to taste lube. Yep, 100% true. 6th grade, a room full of 11-year-olds. The only adult in the room came around with a tube of KY jelly, put a drip on the end of everybody's finger, and you had to lick it off in front of her. And you're probably wondering why, and I will tell you, I do not know. For she did not say. I can't imagine, I have no idea. Maybe she only had sex one time and a little bit got in her mouth and she was like, kids need to know about this. Maybe it was a long con, it was like a prank to make us fuck weird. Maybe she wasn't even a sex ed teacher, maybe she was a child and her mom was the sex ed teacher, but the night before they went to a Chinese restaurant and touched a statue and their souls switched bodies, and then she had to go to teach the class and her mom had to go to swim practice that day, but the next day they understood each other better. I don't know, she didn't say, I'm just guessing. But what I can tell you is that the taste was not the worst part of that activity. The worst part was 20 years later when I found out no one else had to do it. That was way worse, honestly. I was like at a dinner party, and we were talking about sex ed, and I was like, you guys remember when you had to taste lube? Right? She told us all this dumb shit, but she did not tell us anything useful. I wish she had told us that the vagina is further down than it looks in pictures. Right? Gentlemen, at least back me up on this one, right? It is... The diagram looks like it points out, but whoosh, it's all the way downtown. It is at 6 o'clock, and the first time I got near one, I thought I passed it. Like, that's how far it is. I was like, oh, I've gone too far. I should venture back up. And then she was like, that's my belly button. We're just friends. So, and it doesn't have to be a long class. You could just be like, hey, it's closer to the butt than you're expecting. That's all you have to do. Just say it really fast. Those are so close, it's like when there's a Starbucks in a Target. Like, they're very...
I even think that if you look at the Bible, the devil is like more of a chill guy to hang out with, you know? Like, even if you look at the first thing that happened, God sticks Adam and Eve in a garden. He's like, here, name all these animals. And then he leaves. Then the devil comes by and he tells them to eat an apple that lets them see each other naked. So he's been around for 2 minutes and already he's given us snacks and nudity. Pretty good track record. Then God comes back and he sees what happened and he just loses his mind. He gets so mad. He's like, Eve, you will experience incredible pain during childbirth, and so will every woman until the end of time. And Adam, I'm mad at you too.
I grew up Catholic. Anyone grow up Catholic? Hell yeah, okay. And of those people, how many are still practicing Catholics? Hell yeah. How do they stay in business? I don't practice anymore. You can't get rid of it completely. Like, I still think about God's plan, you know? Like, I was walking outside my place, and there was a homeless man outside pleasuring himself, you know? Which is fine. You're at home. Do your thing. I'm not here to judge. And then sitting across from him was another homeless guy, like, just watching casually, right? Like, I don't think he was into it, but for him it was like, well, so it's on TV today, I guess. And anytime I see something like that, I just picture God popping up next to us, being like, yep. All part of my plan. I planned this.
Have you ever, like, walked the streets in Seattle and seen crackheads over there?
Do you know where I am from? If you think people on drugs in downtown makes your city special, you need to travel anywhere. Literally go to any other city, like, oh, they have crackheads too, that's weird, huh? I guess there must have been an epidemic in the 80s or something, this is weird. It's almost like it's literally everywhere, huh? I thought it was just my street, that's weird. I'm sure your crack is different though, I'm sure, yeah.
Did they check your guys' Vax cards when you guys came in? They're doing that everywhere now. It's nice. I like it. I went into a place and I showed them my library card. And he was like, this is a library card. This is not a proof of vaccination. And I was like, yeah, but it is.
I'm usually the only man at the playground. I'm the only dad at the playground, which is kind of weird. So I'm the only man and a bunch of, moms and nannies. Yeah, like you ever walk into a store and you already have a drink from a different store, so you have to kind of wave it around a little bit, so they know that you're not stealing it when you walk out with it later. That's what I have to do with my daughter at the playground.
Man, I really want fucking countries to go in and fucking help the Ukraine, I really do. Apart from Germany, I'm just afraid if they get the uniforms back on, that they're going to be like, this feels quite nice actually, yeah. I just feel better than everyone for some reason. I feel like it's not even fair to ask Germany to go to war, because Germany, they're recovering waraholics, you know what I mean? But it's like still every fucking day. Like they still go to Waraholics meetings and they're like, hi, my name's Germany. It's been 20,000 days since my last invasion, you know. Recently, I've just been finding it hard, you know. Like the other day, I was tired and I was like, why can't we just have Luxembourg? You know, why can't we just... And then America wades into the meeting covered in blood. I don't have a fucking problem. I can quit whenever I want. I'm just afraid, man, if fucking Germany get into the war, we're gonna win the war if they come in. But then like 2 weeks later, we're gonna be like, Germany, why are your planes and tanks still out? And they're gonna be like, promise you won't get mad. And we're like, Germany, no. And they're like, just the tip of Poland, come on.
I've been living in New York about 6 years now, and when I first moved there, I had a huge fear I was gonna get mugged, constantly. Like every time I left the house, I was like, here it comes. Someone's gonna take everything. I got over my fear because I learned a trick, and now I use this trick all the time. Whenever I think someone might try to beat me up or mug me, I fake a Russian accent. You're welcome. It's genius. I'll be walking home late at night, two dangerous-looking thugs walk up to me like, yo, man, you know what neighborhood you're in? You think this bad neighborhood? Russians are the scariest white people.
What do you do for a living? You're a cop. I like how he paused and then said, fuck it. Officer, have you been drinking this evening? I've waited my whole life to say that. Yeah, wow, that was a cop answer if I ever heard one. It's not my fault you got bullied in high school, dog. It's shots fired. No thanks. This is great. I can get away with it. I'm only half black. All right. You're probably a good cop. You look like a bad undercover cop. Let me tell you that much. You look like the cop that shows up to the bodega trying to buy weed. Hey, how are you, my brother? Deadass. My guy, where can I get a name for that Zaza? Anybody listen to the new Lil Wayne album? Oh, let me tell you, I'm Millie.
So I called up a clinic to make my first ever appointment. The receptionist asked if I wanted to speak to a male or female therapist. And I thought about it for 2 seconds and said, female, of course. Was this a test? You think I'd be vulnerable with an adult man? I would rather share my fears with a coyote. I don't think you understand. My inability to talk to other men is the reason I need therapy.
Dad was 23 and Mom was 19 when I showed up, and for some reason it didn't work out between the two of them. It turns out, actually, that a bundle of joy is the perfect size for a wedge between two people who used to love each other. Do you know that? It's right in there. All nice and snug.
My very first session in therapy, right out of the gate, they had me talk to my mom in an empty chair. That makes me feel silly. So I was like, okay, what's up? What's up, Mom? How you doing? I miss you too. You look different. Can you just do the exercise? Where are you going, by the way? Get back here, Mom. Get off of that. Don't do that, all right? I'll fucking take it back. Don't do, no! No! Oh, God! Oh my God! She did it. My therapist is like, what the fuck just happened? What was that? In all my years, I've never seen that. I was like, she just jumped out of a window. She hated this exercise so much. I just lost her again. So, what do I talk to now? This lamp? Is that my grandma?
The first thing we had to change was how I talk to myself, my internal dialogue. My therapist was like, that's got to change. Right now it's just chaos, you know? But now I'm so much more disciplined with it. Now she's giving me all this training. Now I talk to myself the way like an NBA athlete talks to the media, you know? Like my brain's like, that didn't go as planned. What do you have to say for yourself? I'm like, Well, it wasn't our night. We're gonna regroup. We look forward to doing better in the future. Anxiety is like a tabloid journalist. Like, some people are saying you might be the worst person ever. What do you have to say? People are entitled to their opinions. We focus on what we can control, you know? Sometimes my brain still throws me stuff I'm not ready for, though, you know? It's like, you've never really thought about it, you might be gay. And I'm like, no further questions.
So I went to a therapist, and we've been talking about my depression, which I think I have a healthy level of depression. I have enough depression to keep me humble and likable. And I think that's good. You ever meet someone that could use a little depression? You know, one of those people, just one of those carpe diem people, just like, every day's an opportunity. You could use a parking ticket or something. Just to bring you down a little. You know? I have a healthy amount of depression. Like, I would never kill myself, but I would like to die naturally soon. You know what I mean? Like, I want no part in it, but if it could, you know, if you could pick a date.
I hung myself. I was home in Cleveland at my parents' house, and I hung myself from a rafter with a blanket tied around my neck. And that's true depression when you can't make it to the rope store. And I hung myself, and the blanket wrenched. The blanket wrenched out, and so I was on my toes, but I had tied the knot really good, right? I had tied the knot really well, so I was on my toes, and I couldn't get out, and finally I just had to be like, Bob! Bob, I hung myself, I tied the knot really good, the blanket's stretched. And then, this is true, she couldn't hear me, so she goes, I'm on the phone! So I go, okay, we already have a chat.
Because to me, if you are a dad and you don't have a dad bod, then you might be a bad dad. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a time management thing. Like, you don't have time to do both those things well. Like, you have to neglect your health or your children, one or the other. Every time I see like some super ripped dad, I was like, those are just muscles that aren't hugging their kids. That's what that is.
You guys work in offices at all? Yeah. Oh, you do? I used to. The job, not that bad. Like, the emails, the sales calls, the spreadsheets, whatever you do, it's fine. That part is fine. The part that sucks is the indignity of pretending to care about it, you know? That's the part that sucks. Just a bunch of people walking around a building fully in character, like, how's the business? Yeah, I'm good. Good, email, you know? Worst. Have some meeting where, like, good news, guys, Omnicorp is up 15% against our nearest competitor. You got to be like, fuck yes. I love that. Because I work at Omnicorp, you know?
Have you ever had a job that was so bad that you walked out in the middle of a shift and that didn't mean that you quit? Yeah, you're just in there one day like, you know what? Fuck this place, and fuck all of you. I'll see you assholes tomorrow. Tom, if you do this 2 or 3 more times, you're in trouble. Yeah, I put in my 2 weeks notice, and my coworker was like, hey, you're not gonna, like, come shoot up the place on your last day or anything, are you? I said, no, and I don't think you have to wait till your last day to do that. I think any day you shoot up your job is your last day. Unless they really need people. I don't know.
The other day I confused fracking and sharding. Someone was like, Emma, what do you think about fracking in Argentina? And I was like, probably has to do with their diet. Have you ever said something so stupid someone can't even guess what you're talking about? I watched this guy start to question his own sanity. He was like, wait. You think because their diet it's affecting the way they prioritize their environmental policies? At this point I kind of knew I messed up, so I was like, yeah, that's one theory.
Like it's a zoo. I'm not even educational though. I'm like, oh, what region is this from? Like, you know, the pit bull we found in the
the projects? Oh, well, I love his tattoos. He's so muscular. Now, the benefit of the zoo over the Humane Society is they at least try to hide how depressed the animals are at the zoo. At the Humane Society, they're scratching tally marks in the side of the cage. And it's messed up because they have little biographies of the animals, but they write them from the cat's perspective, so they just sound like Civil War POW letters. It's I've been here since August 3rd, 2019. I do not know how old I am or when my birthday is. Seems to matter less and less as the years go by. There's not much to celebrate anyway. I just pray that somebody will save me from this unconscionable horror.
I do think science took some of the wonder out of life. I was babysitting my nephew, and he asked me, how does lightning work? And I thought back in the day I could have told him about Zeus and Poseidon and the war of the Greek gods. But now I have to tell him the facts. I don't fucking know.
Does anybody else hate the dentist? Right? Yeah, obviously. Yeah, dentist is terrible. I have a life hack for you if you don't like the dentist, because I flipped it around. I figured out how to do it. Now I kind of like it. Here's what I did. It's a reframing. Instead of thinking about the dentist as going to the tooth principal's office to get yelled at for not flossing, I think of it as a very exclusive spa just for rich people where you make an adult wash the inside of your body. That's what it is. Yeah, are you kidding me? A man is gonna floss me? That is Elon Musk behavior, for sure. Now I swagger into the dentist. They're like $5 copay. I say, take 10, I don't even care. Kick back in that robotic recliner, put on a tiny bib like I'm at the laziest crab feast. All right, Glenn, I'm ready for you. Actually, you know what, Glenn? I'm getting a little tired. Too tired to swallow my own spit. I'm gonna need you to suck it out of my mouth with a little tiny vacuum cleaner. And look me in the eyes while you're doing it, Glenn. I paid $10 for this.
I recently found out there's a guy serving 30 years in prison for stealing my identity. Now, they may sound excessive, but in stealing my identity, he violated my parole. They got him.
So I live by PETA headquarters. They own the billboard over their building, and it's always some dumb shit. But, oh, man, the one over Thanksgiving is fucking incredible. It's a picture of a turkey, and it says, you wouldn't eat your dog, so why would you eat a turkey? I don't know, fuck you, because that's how life is? Are you trying to mess with me? Hey, what if the land were on top of the sky? Gotcha! Drives me absolutely insane. I love that logic, too. You wouldn't eat your dog, so why would you eat a turkey? You wouldn't fuck your sister, so why would you fuck your wife? Because that's who I fuck. I don't know. I don't fuck my relatives. Don't fuck my family. I also don't eat my family. See, that's the thing. It's not that it's a dog, it's that it's my dog. I'll eat your fucking dog. Cook your dog. I'll eat it. Let's do this.
We have so many stains. But what are all the stains from? They're all a mystery. What tenant before us left these stains? Why are they all brown? Why are all the stains brown? Did every tenant before us have coffee with the same amount of cream? What's going on? Is there poop in my carpet? That's all I want to know. That's all I really care about. And my girlfriend's like, Jeff, we've shampooed the carpet 3 times. We can't even say that it was poop. We don't know if it was poop. But if it was poop, the poop is gone. The stain is still there. It's a stain. The poop is long gone. The stain, though, it's a stain. What the fuck are you talking about? What is a stain, Vic? What is a stain? Does anybody know? Do we have any scientists in the crowd who could explain to me what a stain is? I don't. I'll tell you what this is. This is gaslighting. That's what this is. I just learned what gaslighting is, and that's what this is right here. So you're telling me that we shampooed the carpet, and the poop is like, okay, all right, we're gonna go. But we're gonna leave this other thing that's the same color. What? If I paint a wall brown and then I get paint remover and I remove the paint and there's brown, I'm not like, oh, that's a stain. That's fucking paint. That's paint. At least with the stains that I leave, I know what they are, and they're all poop. Okay? I got a poop problem.
Jane Jetson, homemaker. Fine, but kind of conservative for 2062. age 33. All right, did not know that about Jane Jetson. Next character description, Judy Jetson, age 16. Ooh. Anybody want to do that math real quick? Mother's 33, daughter's 16, cut to 16 years earlier in 2046 when Judy's born. Jane is 17 years old, right? Next character description bugged me the most. Back to 2062, meet George Jetson, age 40, 7 years older than Jane. Cut back to 2046 when Judy's born. George is 24. Now let's say Jane is hopefully 17 years old, right? There's a 9-month out of 12-month chance that she's 16 because that's how a pregnancy works. That's some dark Jetsons shit.
Dudes who want to get my attention in public, they will combine what they think I look like with prison and yell it at me. The other day, a guy was like, "Hey, you." And I was like, and he goes, "Yeah, you, Harry Potter, but make it prison. Come over here." Like, what? I'll come over, but I didn't like that. This is true. The other day I was sitting on the subway. I'm sitting minding my own business. This guy's scooting past me. He looks up at me and he stops and he goes, "Hey, Jim from The Office did 10 years in prison. Look at you." I did not like that one. It's like, that one was accurate. Like, come on, man. I'm trying to grow my hair out. Let me live my life. People on the train were laughing. He was killing. And he goes, "Oh, so Pam left and you just snapped, huh?" Like, he has follow-ups.
I remember our first day, you gotta ask all those stupid-ass questions. How many siblings do you have? What's your biggest fear? I told my wife my biggest fear is I'm gonna be a bad father. Because my dad left when I was 2 years old. In his defense, I was a terrible 2-year-old. I loved Legos as a kid, and we had blue carpet. I would hide blue Legos in the blue carpet. Because I thought it was funny to watch him step on them. But he thought it was funny to give me abandonment issues. So he won that battle of wits. I tell my wife, I'm a pretty open book. I'm like, yeah, my biggest fear is I'm gonna be a bad father on our first date. And I was like, what's your biggest fear? And she goes, snakes. Snakes in New York. I've never seen a worm in New York City. He said, snakes. I knew I was gonna marry her that day. I love this one. It's the funniest thing you could possibly fucking say.
Okay, you guys think it's weird that the only dead bodies you're ever gonna get to see are people that you loved? That's pretty weird, right? Think about it. When somebody dies, you only get to see him if you loved him. That's odd, right? When my dad died, they were like, "You want to see his body before we cremate him?" And I was like, "Absolutely not." And they were like, "Why?" I was like, "'Cause I liked him." I was like, "Why don't you show me my fucking parole officer dead, okay?" You know what I mean? I was like, "Show me that financial aid bitch. That'll ease the grief." She sucked, right? That bitch always sucked.
Remember the McDonald's guy did the Super Size Me thing? And then, yeah. No, don't clap. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. What a dumb thing to do. Can you imagine if he tried it anywhere else, like KFC? And the girl would just been like, "Son, do you know where you're at? I'm gonna prove KFC is fattening. Our food comes in buckets." And I respect the chains that did not deviate from message after Super Size Me came out. Because McDonald's was like, "Well, we have salad now." And Burger King was like, "We have yogurt now." And Taco Bell was just over there like, "I figured out how to make taco shells out of Doritos."
What's the most racist shit your dad said when you was young?
Oh, well, I'm certainly not going to repeat that. I'd like to work in this business despite my hair. Have you seen Roots?
Yeah.
Yeah, he quotes the other parts. Will's laughing and you guys are like, no.
The Germans are not laughing because of what happened years ago. They don't want to,
What happened?
Are you serious?
Imagine, I'm just like, I have no idea. You're German? Wie geht's?
What the fuck is going on here?
I told you my father was racist.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and at one point he turned to me and he said, "Hey Andy, I gotta ask you, what's your secret?" I was like, okay, my secret? Well, one time I killed a little girl with a shovel. And he was like, "Dude, I meant like your secret to success." It's like, oh, well, probably should have specified that. But okay, my secret to success, never let anything stand in your way. No matter how small.
Let's enjoy sports, it's entertainment, but you're not on the team. It doesn't matter. Like, when you care that much about something that's not you, like if you care that much about Star Wars, you're a dork. Everyone calls you a dork, but why don't we call them sports dorks? They do the same shit as a Star Wars dork. They'll go to the game dressed up like the people that they're going to watch. How is that different than a Jar Jar Binks costume? It's not. It's the same. To walk into a place like, hey, look at me, I'm Soriano. I said, no, you're not. You're somebody who gave up on life like 12 years ago, and now you're living vicariously through this dude who's richer than you, and you're wearing his work clothes. That's weird. Weird as shit. You have his work uniform on. What's weirder than going into a man's business already donning his uniform? You ever walk into a Best Buy wearing a blue Kyle shirt? You ever do that shit? Hey, Kyle, I got your clothes on. You'd be like, who the fuck are you? You need to leave. I don't know where you got that, but that's weird. No, I'm not going to sign it. You got to go.
So when somebody curses you in English, sincerely, you could probably walk away 99.9% of the time if you didn't get emotionally charged. Really, this is an oldie but a goodie. Hey, fuck you. I don't want to fuck you. And you could just walk away. Hey, go fuck yourself. You know what, man? I've been really tense lately. And maybe what I need to do is go fuck myself. Arabic curse words. They're really graphic. They're so graphic, I don't even use them, honestly. We're gonna start here and build up. Like kus immak, which means fuck your mother's pussy. Very specific. We take that to another level, kus immilinafalak, which means fuck the pussy you slithered out of. Wow! Astaghfirullah, I know, it's crazy. That's why everyone saw the baby fall out. It's a visual curse word, that one. This is one of my personal favorites. Yil'an tarikhak, which means damn your entire history. My great-grandmother? No, bitch. From the beginning of time to present day and everything in between and in the future, fuck your DNA.
My friend's like, why can't you sleep on an airplane? He acts like I'm crazy. He's like, why don't you just go to sleep? I'm like, I can't. And he's like, why? I'm like, is that hard to understand? That's not a normal sleeping situation. That's why. Like, if you went home tonight and you went to bed and there was a jet engine idling outside of your bedroom window, don't you think you might be like, I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight because of the jet engine outside of my bedroom window? And then also somebody replaced your bed with a chair. And there was 71 strangers in your bedroom with you. And then someone woke you up in the middle of the night to offer you a Coke. That's what they do on airplanes. Like, I know you're trying to sleep, but do you want to...
You guys probably can't tell by looking at me, but I recently lost not really enough weight to clap for. Thank you for... No, that's... You should. Historically, you should not be clapping. It will be back. When I lose weight, I'm not saying goodbye. I'm saying see you later. Until next time, old friend, bring bread. This is how I got motivated to lose weight. It was a weird way. I got an email from Amazon. And the email said, based on your recent activity, we thought you might be interested in this. And it was a picture of a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. Which, honestly, I've never not been a little bit interested in. Unless you've been reading my journal, how do you know that, Amazon? Based on what recent activity? It's not like, oh, I ordered a case of bean dip, so this makes sense. I've never ordered food from Amazon. Not one goddamn time have I ordered food. I think it's because I ordered an extra large shirt. And then I returned it and exchanged it for a double extra large shirt. Yeah. That's when the hurtful algorithm kicked in. Amazon's like, yeah, this is the kind of customer who would enjoy chips being mailed to his home. 2 days after that hurtful email, just out of nowhere, Cinnabon started following me on Twitter. I'm like, am I on a fat list? What is happening? Why? Cinnabon, did Amazon tell you about the shirt? What the fuck? Cyberbullying is real. And it's pretty effective. That's the day I decided. I'm like, you know what? After I get those chips in the mail, I'm gonna make better choices.
No, when I was in church, I dated a Christian boy, and he broke up with me because he said that God told him to. Which, like, I think is pretty uncool of God. Just to, like, take time out of his busy schedule. Just to, like, tell this kid to break up with me. Especially because that was the same week as Hurricane Katrina. So, like, what, God was just, like, up in heaven, like, oh no, the levees are about to break. Oh wait, but what's happening over here at this youth group? One of my followers is dating that bitch Emily. That's not my plan. My plan, here's my plan. You gotta break up with Emily over the phone. And then the very next day you gotta get back together with your ex-girlfriend, and then you guys gotta get married real quick and move to Temecula. That's my plan. Anyways, back to the levee. Oh, fuck.
I got down on my knees on the street and I lifted his tail with his hand, very gently grabbed the tip of the plastic bag with my other hand, and started slowly pulling the bag out of the dog. And it came out far enough to where it wasn't like a Ziploc bag that this dog swallowed. And it came out further where it wasn't a grocery store bag either. This dog swallowed a tall kitchen bag. And it hadn't digested any of it. So I have this arm up here with his tail, a full arm's length out, a bag here. And when I looked up, this crowd of people had gathered across the street. They're just watching me pull the bag out of the dog. And they're all looking at me like, that is the worst street magician we have ever seen.
My first memory is showering with my father. Just one shower too many, you know? 1 week too old. The switch turned on. I should have told him. I think I remember things now. I don't think there's no one behind these eyes anymore, Papa. Because when you're young, it's just like, we don't have money, fucking get in there, you'll drown if you do it, you gotta learn how to shower, so just get in. And then 1 week, you're just too old, and you turn to the left, and you do not forget. It's huge, dude. I remember being so huge. But I was tiny, so maybe not. Maybe it's not that big. I'd love to get another look, but how do you bring that up? The scale, I want to know the scale. Maybe it's like when you drive by your old elementary school and you're like, what, it's only that big? That's crazy. I remember it being so much bigger.
I found a pretty good temp job right now. It's a great company, great people working there. I have no idea what they do. No idea, zero. I showed up, I was like, I'm a temp, I'll be here for a week. I don't have to ask what this place is or does. And guess what? It's been 3 months, it is too late to ask now. Woo! Does anyone else not know what they do for work? Ma'am, yes. I go to work every day in the shadows. I have no idea. People are like, what do you do? I'm like, beats me. Couldn't tell you. I see a guy on the phone. I guess he has something to do with it. There's a lady typing. She's in on the operation. If I ask now, I would be fired. I can't go up to the receptionist. She'd be like, can I help you, Luke? I'd be like, what is this? Where am I?
I met my biological father for the first time late in life, and the first time I met him, I go to his apartment, he's just petting a cat. And I was like, what's up with the cat? He goes, I rescued her from the side of the road, and then I nursed her back to health. And I was like, so you did have it in you. And
sweet dog, cutest dog you ever seen, and it is a girl, and people give me a hard time because her name's Darwin. They say that's a boy's name, and then I remind them, well, it's also a dog, so I think we're okay. And she doesn't talk, so I don't even know how she identifies, honestly, but if you call her good boy, she'll wag her tail. Anyway, I normally don't even correct people if they misgender her. I don't correct people, it doesn't matter. If they call her boy, it doesn't matter to me. I only did it once. I was at the vet. I took her to the vet, and if you haven't been to the vet during the pandemic, it's a different thing than it used to be. You're no longer allowed inside the building. What happens instead is you go in the parking lot, and then a masked man comes out and takes your dog from your car, and then about a half hour later, you get a call with some ransom demands. A guy claiming to be a doctor just calls you up and he's like, if you ever want to see your dog again, it's going to be $1,500 worth of dental work. So the vet calls me and he's going over the checkup. She's like, she got cracked teeth. She's always telling me all this. But he kept referring to Darwin as he. He kept saying he over and over again. The veterinarian kept saying he over and over again about my dog. And I finally stopped him and I was like, I don't know that the examination was as thorough as it should have been. I'm a layman, you know, I don't know anything, but I know you missed something important. It's hard for me to totally trust your diagnosis when you missed a vagina. He told me I should get her a rattlesnake vaccine because I live in California and I like to take her on hikes. And there's rattlesnakes, and he said a good thing to do would be to get her a rattlesnake vaccine. And I did it. I got it for her. I'm not one of these like crazy rattlesnake vaccine deniers that's right, I did it. You know, my buddy was like, I wouldn't do it. I think the vaccine came out too fast, but I was like, I think it's fine. I don't mind. You know, I love my dog. I want her to be safe from the rattlesnakes. I don't even care if there is a microchip in it. She's got another one with my address, so love you up. I got her the rattlesnake vaccine, but then I started thinking about how I go on all the same hikes that she goes on. And I don't have a rattlesnake vaccine. My doctor never even mentioned it to me. I don't know if dog medicine is just that far beyond human medicine, or if he just took a look at me and was like, we don't gotta worry about hikes with this fella. What I gotta do now, though, is every time we're on a hike, if she starts to lag behind me, I'm like, Darwin, get out front. You're the first line of defense.